All right, Group A, qualifying round number 3, Tim Betts and Joe Kapua. Tim, the builder from Auckland. Behind the wheel, Joe, the navigator in the silly seat. You can actually see the height difference of the pairing as they sit in the boat. Joe about 4'2", Tim about 6'19". Their first time out on the track, so we're not going to see some blistering speeds here at the moment. All about trying to get the rotation sorted out, feel comfortable, feel confident, build the speed as the day wears on. Betsy around the Lucas Oils roundabout for the second time. Into the PSP hairpin. Down the mouth fresh front chute into the Novus Auto Glass sweeper. Nice and tidy opening lap there for Tim Betts with a 58.379. 58.379, their first time out on the track today, so they'll be very comfortable that that went very, very nicely indeed. The speed will come. So our next boat to face the starter will be Carl Brentzel, Hamish Murray, Timber Creek Contracting. Carl Brentzel, Hamish Murray. Haven't seen a lot of them of late, have not been doing the full New Zealand Jetsprint grounds. Just very, very busy with work and life, but great to see them down here at their home track down here in Wanaka on the South Island. A little bit of a hesitation up there. That's a couple of times now, Carl heading into that top part of the course, just easing off that accelerator just so very, very lightly, unsettling the boat as it's going in there. Bit porpoisey around the Novus Auto Glass sweeper on the right-hander. Oh, bit of hesitation, got right off the accelerator there, and then you heard the pop when he got back on it. 48.476, 48.476 for Carl Brentzel and Hamish Murray. So Daniel Thornton will be out next, A-Crane Transport. So Daniel Thornton and AJ Keenan. No wonder he likes AJ. His name's Angelo. I prefer AJ. My name's Angelo as well. I can't be too cheeky there, but for the Lucas Oils Group A category, Daniel Thornton. Certainly not driving this vessel to its full potential thus far in the day, but this qualifying round at number 3, still plenty of racing to go today as they make their way down into the PSP hairpin. Just bobbed it down a little bit. You've got to get in there nice and smooth. That is one of the money corners here. Gets a little bit washing machine in the middle of the track. The split was a 39, well off where he'd like to be, but that's okay. This left and right hand combination they just went through is certainly going to provide another one of those interesting moments in the final part of the rotation now. Squeezing accelerator with a 57.841, 57.841 for Daniel Thornton and AJ Keenan. So we'd like to thank Lloyd and Julie Ferguson for allowing us to use this amazing facility here, purpose-built Jetsprint track. We'd also like to thank the Southern Jetsprint Club and the many volunteers, Kilo Craft for the towboat, Regional Ford for the use of their ute, and Motorworks for the side-by-sides. All of these things intrinsic into getting the day sorted out. We'd like to thank you very much. The Westview aluminium boat of Bevan and Claudia Edwards. This boat is the inheritance. The idea of this is to pass it down through the generations in time. So fantastic family effort here as well. So Bevan Edwards, a rural sales consultant agent from Cardigan, and Claudia, a farm worker also from Cardigan. PGG Wrightsons and Westview Aluminium, the split at a 34.854. So the time there of 52.179, 52.179 for Bevan Edwards. Carl Brentzel currently leading out of the four boats we've seen so far. Tim Betts slowest, not surprising, given that it was his first time on the track. They finally got the engine sorted for the Violent Tendencies machine. Now we are seeing the Case Construction machine of Tisdall Contracting, Clayton and Mandy Tisdall. Qualifying round number 3 for the Group A category. The home track here for Clayton Tisdall last time down here was streets ahead in the Group A category, so had a very nice win. Really want to emulate that form again today. The split's pretty tidy in a 31.810. The flip-flops, the left-right hand combination, very tight through there into the washing machine. Now in the run for home and a 47.948, 47.948, straight to the top of the table, half a second quicker than Carl Brentzel in the Timber Creek Contracting Maroon machine. So Clayton Mandy currently leading the charge at the moment. Great to see the St John's Ambos down here, and they do a wonderful, wonderful job. And of course our rescue crew out on track, dotted around there to effect a rescue if it's ever needed. We've got our lovely Hannah up here in the commentary tower yawning her head off. I tell you what, your head goes that wide, you could brush your teeth very easily when you're having a yawn that big. We go Elite Kitchens Racing, Sean and May Rice. Dream it, live it. He's pairing from New Plymouth, absolute revenge. Fate flies planes upside down, round around in circles. Sean behind the wheel of a sprint car, making the transition into the sprint boats, and looking pretty good out there at the moment. Certainly garnering a little bit more speed this time out. 32.483 on the split. So he's in and about the top 3 thus far. short and fade with a 48.866 into P3 at the moment. Still got Cy Gibbon, Ross Travers and Ollie Silverton still to run. So Cy Gibbon and Donna Thompson. The Novus Auto Glass machine from the Canterbury region on the South Island. So a little bit wide around the Lucas Oils roundabout, but wow, this Stinger Hull can really feel the vibration right through to the commentary tower as he's just powering this machine around the track. Donna Thompson, the nurse from Wanganui, into the PSP hairpin. You just heard it hit the engine limiter as it was just gaining traction on the exit to that hairpin. The split's going to be good. It's going to be great for 30.392. Oh, the big back off into the left-hander, the final left-hander, and a 45.746. That is a cracking run for Cy Gibbon and Donna Thompson. The radioactive machine of Super Mario. Ross Travers coming out now. Amanda Kiddo doing the navigational duties. Super Mario, after the last round at Wanganui, known as Submerged Mario, managed to fill the boat up with water after a fairly spectacular roll late in the day. A lot of work to make sure the electrics, all the plumbing, all the wiring, all of the engine sorted out, so they literally had to more or less rebuild the boat after the last round. So a lot of work from Ross and his son Shane to get this boat down here to Wanaka. The split 31.985. Most of the Group A boats are running an 8 1/4, an 8.5 inch jet unit. Ross Travers running an 8 1/4. So that's across the line there, 47.881. That's nothing to be sneezed at. 2 seconds behind Cy Gibbon. So wonderful run there for Ross and Amanda. Looks like Neil Marshall coming out now. Hayley Brunning. Pair from New Plymouth. Neil Marshall, the proprietor of Stinger Race Boats, along with Jamie Christmas. This boat beautifully prepared. We said earlier that Neil Marshall of Wanganui just had a bit of a nightmare of a day. They just couldn't get their head around the rotation. In the first two qualifying runs today, they were looking a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable, a lot more settled. Beautiful and smooth around the Lucas Oils roundabout. The bow of this Stinger boat sitting quite deep in the water, and compared to other Stinger boats, they normally sit very high and almost float across the water. This boat sitting very, very bow down. Lost a little bit of time around the PSP hairpin. Really trimmed right down for a Stinger boat. The split is a 32.114. That's in the mix. So Neil Marshall, former rally driver, offshore rig paint inspector. Will be knifey around the final corner across the line, 48.105. Neil Marshall into P4 behind Cy Gibbon, Ross Travers, Clayton Tisdall at the moment. Ollie Silverton and Jess Sit still to come for qualifying round number 3 of the Group A category. So the Sun Tough machine coming off PSP, off the trailer now. Drainage Systems, Biolytics, Magnum Automotive, Newdick Sheet Metals, GJ Gardner Homes, Hines, Clearview and Suntough Translucent Roofing Products all on board as sponsors for this pairing from Hamilton. Jess Sitt, the marketing manager of the PSP Building Brands, and Ollie Silverton from Drainage Systems in Hamilton. And wow, out of the blocks very, very quickly indeed. Ollie Silverton, reigning world champion in the Group A category. And have a look at this. This is qualifying round number 3. The boat looking as though it's on rails. Up into this top part of the race course. A little bit bouncy going into there across that wash, but Ollie Silverton didn't back out of it. Into the namesake PSP hairpin. In and out beautifully. Opening up the apex to come down the front chute into the split. The split is a 30.547. So Cy Gibbon was quicker at the split. Ollie Silverton got a lot of work to do to catch up now. Into the final run. Oh, that was a bit ugly down the bottom there. And a 45.993. Cy Gibbon quick up by 0.2 of a second to the man on track at the moment, Ollie Silverton. That rounds out qualifying round number 3 for the Group A category. Cy Gibbon, Ollie Silverton, Ross Travers, Clayton Tisdall, Neil Marshall and Carl Brentzel make up the top 6 in that order. Sorry, I have made a mistake because Tim Coleman is yet to come out in the Group A category. Tim Coleman, the B driver of the Violent Tendencies machine. We've only seen it one time today so far under the helm of Tim Betts. Tim Coleman now behind the wheel. So Tim Coleman, Dylan Matthews, this will be a fairly sedate style of lap as they just get their eye in their first time on course here today. So Tim Coleman, been around the sport for a lot of years, Coleman Marine as well, so finally decided to take up the opportunity to have a drive. Fairly well known around the sport as an engine builder, did a lot of work with Nick Berryman, world number 3 in the unlimited category, Nick retiring. So Tim Coleman certainly got the experience within the sport, just not a whole lot of experience behind the wheel, and as you can see, just out there tickling it around at the moment, making sure that he and Dill are on the same page as far as communication goes. So wonderful to see these guys finally getting this sorted out again. Now into the final part of the lap, and it will be a 1 minute 10 seconds, 0.525, but the positive coming out of that is the rotation is correct. So that rounds out qualifying round number 3 for the Group A category. We will be back in a minute with qualifying round number 3 of our unlimited boats. So today, this 2020 season, we are quite a bit down on the number of unlimited boats. As soon as we hear the change of class music, we'll get back into that conversation.